It's pretty fair to say that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania has seen problems in its box office run. I don't think anybody is going to dismiss that because that's factual. Now, where the film ends up is a major topic of discussion on all the big sites. So let's talk about the analysts predicting that this thing is not going to make as much as Ant-Man 2. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, aka Ant-Man 2, in its theatrical run worldwide made $622 million. Obviously, this was more than the first film made, which was $519 million back in 2015. So naturally, with a trilogy, you generally want to see a uptick in regards to how the box office goes. First film makes money, second one makes more, third one makes more. At least that's the general consensus, and, well, there is an exception to this rule, honestly, because this isn't really the way most franchises go. For example, Star Wars: A New Hope made more than Empire Strikes Back, which made more than Return of the Jedi. Star Wars Episode 1 made way more than Episode 2, but Episode 2 ended up making less than 3. The sequel trilogy follows the same pattern in terms of less each time. And I'm using Star Wars because it's one of the most popular and profitable franchises ever. Over on the other side, when it comes to the competition with DC, that's all over the place. One film makes slightly more, the next one completely bombs, the one after it makes slightly more, so it's a variable. So, what I'm trying to say is it's never a guarantee you're going to go upwards. Even if we follow Marvel tradition, this hasn't been really common. For example, Spider-Man 1 made more money than Spider-Man 2, and most people's favorite film in that series is Spider-Man 2, but Spider-Man 3 made more than Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man, that was a trend downwards. The MCU trilogy has been a trend upwards, so yeah, it's an interesting thing to look at, honestly. So what does this mean for Ant-Man and the Wasp? Is it going to pass Ant-Man 2? Most people are saying no, especially if you plug in equations that give you the end result, which means it's going to come in slightly under Ant-Man 2. What does that mean for the franchise? Well, you got to look at the budget of each film. Ant-Man 2 had a pretty decent budget, all things considered. Ant-Man 2 had a budget of around $160 million and turned around with $622 million, but Ant-Man Quantumania has a budget of $200 million, and it might not make the same amount of money, which means they're making less, ultimately, but again, we still don't know. So, is it going to be a failure? Yes and no. Again, we got to wait and see, but I think in the long run, yeah, Ant-Man 2 is going to be way more profitable, but we got to consider then the rest of the things that'll factor into it, which we won't know till the end of the year. So, we'll talk about this obviously by the end of 2023, but it's looking like, yeah, Ant-Man 3 will be a bit less profitable if predictions are to be believed. So, we'll see.